Let's put things into perspective and see how the GDPR requirements are implemented in real world. You must have received a few requirements from supervisory authorities or other regulatory bodies on your cloud storage requirements. The GDPR recommends businesses use technical safeguards, as we've seen earlier, such as encryption to protect personal data. Encryption is a crucial cloud security measure because it minimizes the risk of exposing personal data if the files are leaked due to a hacker attack or human error. If encryption is done securely, the leaked encrypted files, including personal data, are unreadable or they have white noise for any unauthorized party. The GDPR refers to encryption in several provisions. However, it does not explicitly indicate which algorithm, such as AES 256 or other, and architecture or application. Not all types of encryption provide the same level of protection if your files end up in the wrong hands. Thus, you should scrutinize the encryption methodologies used by your providers with care. In addition, the way encryption keys are stored and managed is essential in deciding how feasible it is to decrypt and read the leaked data. In addition to applying strong encryption, your provider needs to take further steps to secure the data of its users. They also need to offer several data control and governance features to help your business implement data protection policies and privacy by design within your organization. First and foremost, account security should be taken seriously. This includes managing user authentication securely, preferably through zero-knowledge methods. There are different levels of how securely a service provider treats your password. The highest level of password protection is zero-knowledge method. Your provider has no knowledge of your password. As the service provider has no knowledge of your password, it won't be compromised even if the service provider is hacked. Beyond password protection, make sure that the provider offers multi-factor authentication. This adds extra layers of protection to this simple password method by asking for the verification of your identity with an additional trusted device. For example, with a code generated by an application or sent to your phone. Make sure that your provider offers extensive data controls and governance features to minimize the risks of these events. There are several useful features you should look for. Permission management to set up granular access levels to personal and other sensitive data should be in place. A centralized dashboard to monitor staff's activities related to file management, such as who opened or deleted or accessed the file. This is called audit trail and activity logs. The possibility to create and monitor internal security policies related to data security. Backup options like deleted files recovery and device control tools are very important. You should be able to revoke access, remotely wipe a device, etc. Based on the privacy by design principle, the GDPR requires all organizations to implement comprehensive data protection policies. Businesses have to protect the confidentiality and integrity of personal data. It should be processed in a manner that ensures appropriate security with technical and organizational measures. This means having security practices and policies in place and enforcing them daily. The GDPR states that personal data should be processed lawfully, fairly, and transparently. As a data controller, you must make sure that the third-party services you use also meet these requirements. According to the principle of accountability, the final responsibility and liability of protecting the data lies with you. In case of an audit, you must prove to authorities that all your providers meet the GDPR requirements. To ensure this, it is crucial to choose a cloud storage service that is transparent about how they manage data and provide clear and easy to understand information about this, including how they further process data and what sub-processors and third-party services they use. Data residency is an essential aspect too. Although the GDPR doesn't specify that the data should be stored in the European Union, ensuring GDPR compliance is more straightforward if you do so. When the provider uses third country data centers, additional guarantees are needed to ensure that your data is protected according to the same high standards as those in the GDPR. In addition to technical and infrastructure security measures, your provider has to offer legally binding guarantees on data protection. These documents are crucial to proving to your clients and auditors that you are using GDPR compliant services. If your cloud storage provider is EU-based, always look for proof that the company takes GDPR compliance seriously and has taken documented steps to ensure its compliance. This includes, among many other things, providing that required documents on data protection, such as a clear and easy to understand privacy policy and terms of service. In addition to that, you have to ask for a DPA or Data Processing Agreement or Addendum that your provider can sign with you. If your cloud storage provider is not EU-based, you must look for further proof. First, make sure that the company is established in a third country that received a data protection adequacy decision from the European Commission. The GDPR is revolutionary because it applies a risk-based and by design approach to data protection. Companies must assess risks related to the management of personal data and implement appropriate technical and organizational measures to minimize them. Beyond this, they are required to be able to prove that they took steps appropriate to mitigate any risks. This applies to any cloud-based service provider that you consider using. Beyond GDPR compliance information, other certifications can also be helpful in understanding safeguards put in place by service providers. Information security certifications or compliance standards like ISO 27001 and SOC 2 are great examples. Also, get information on whether the provider was audited by third-party information security experts.